1015 KGB FM San Diego. Best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw Show on the air. Between now and straight up 12 noon, playing back some of the good stuff that we did all this past week. And there is a bumper crop of entertaining bits on the show today, so don't be surprised if we don't play too much Freebird. And if we don't get to your favorite fog hat slow rider fool in the city, well, it's because there's just too much good stuff on the show today, including Ruth, 66, doing something for which most people would get fired. Plus, we'll talk about the ways people killed parties. Yeah, we've busted up a few around here. Plus, we have listeners on the phone at 570-1015 talking about the way they've bombed out the Bacchanalia. We'll have the chainsaw on sports. We'll talk to bad Americans and one who leads the pack. Meet a man who lost his penis and replaced it with a 7-pound Cocker Spaniel. We'll hear about all the marriage proposals gone wrong. Plus, dumb stuff dumb people really do. We'll take your calls at 570-1015 here on the Best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw Show, but we'll start out with an example of one of the dumbest things that something really stupid really did. It's the Best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw Saturday morning for you here on the 1015 KGB FM San Diego.
The other thing I wanted to tell you about, you might have seen this on the news over the weekend. I don't know how anybody can be so mind-numbingly dumb.
Yeah.
As to do this.
I saw that in a promo.
I mean, you have to be so dumb as to do this. Can you think of anything that's bigger? I mean, you know, like, when you're making a mistake, I don't know, maybe you're making like a little airplane, like a little model airplane, or maybe you're sewing and you make a mistake and you realize, or you're trying to put something together and you can't find that last little screw.
Sure, you're knitting,
little things
you drop
like
a
that.
stitch. No, yeah.
Not like a billboard, a giant billboard.
Right.
They put up this billboard, I think in South Carolina.
I think so,
Charlotte.
Yeah.
And one half of it is a picture, a smiling pic. It's a billboard, the biggest billboard there is, not the little ones, the great big giant ones that are held up by that tower that's like twice as thick as a tree trunk. The really big, giant billboards.
The kind of billboards where once in a while a DJ will camp out and the team wins.
I can't believe there isn't a DJ element. I'm not coming down to the Chargers win. I'm not coming down till we build that stadium.
There ought to be a morning show DJ up on this billboard. I'm not coming down till they fix this.
Well, it's a giant picture of George Bush. A very nice, handsome picture of the governor, smiling, beaming, and then next to it, one word: Gore, and the number 2000.
What kind of a box are you living in?
How dumb can you be when you're putting up this billboard not to realize someone made a mistake here? It's Gore's logo, his logo, and George Bush's picture. And it's 1,000,000 times life-size.
Yeah.
There's no way you couldn't have seen this.
This is Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade huge.
And please, all you billboard hanger-uppers, don't call me and tell me, when you're up that close, you can't tell what you're doing. No.
Do you have a guy who drives up? Do you have a guy on the ground anywhere?
It made me think, I've done things like this. I've done things that were just so mind-numbingly dumb as to perplex even the most Einsteinian of people. Even the most forgiving people.
You've never done anything that stupid.
Oh, I backed my brand new car into our best friend's brand new car.
Oh.
And all I was doing was just backing up.
Ooh.
Don't.
Well,
Stupid.
Thank you.
yeah.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, stuff like that happens.
But I mean, have you
That's
done
mulligan.
anything just like mind numbing? I mean, you know, you can be honest. I'm honest. I do this stuff a lot, actually. I'd like to know if you've done anything that was just so mind-numbingly stupid that it compares to hanging a billboard with George Bush's picture and Al Gore's name on it.
Well, that's pretty stupid.
Pretty stupid.
You can't really cut yourself a whole lot of slack if that's you who did it.
I don't think anybody can beat that, but I'll give you an opportunity now here. 888-570-1015. And the dumbest guy out there will give you a prize. We're not going to really give him a prize, but he's too dumb to know that. All right. How dumb are you?
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
They're trying to pull a fast one on me.
No, not you.
Well, he can't outsmart me.
Right.
Because I'm a moron.
There's someone out there, some guy out there who did not realize that he was putting George Bush's picture up on Al Gore's billboard. It's on our website, 101kgb.com. I'm just wondering, like me, I've done mind-numbingly dumb things like that. There is no earthly reason to be that dumb. If I can paraphrase Ruth.
Ruth, yeah.
There's no reason for you to be that dumb. Here is Mike trying to out-dumb me here on the KGB. How you doing there, Mike?
Hey, good.
What did you do?
What's that?
What did you do?
Well, I about 10 years ago, I was at my buddy's house, right? And he has a couple of kids, and his dad decided to fix this little dune buggy with a tire. He put a nail through the tire, and for some reason that tire just always lays around with the nail sticking through it. And for some stupid reason, I just decided to walk by it and just press down with my foot on it, see if I
Step on
can push it through the foot.
You stepped out of the...
I have no idea why I pulled that one.
You stepped on it on purpose.
No idea whatsoever.
Oh, I know why.
I'm not a smart man.
I don't know what the deal was that day, but it
Stepped
went
on a
through.
nail on purpose, and it went
Had to
right
go
through.
to the hospital the whole bit.
All right. Way to go, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
See you.
We had a college roommate who had gone to a party, and I don't know why, but they were trying to heat the party with some sort of flammable liquid in one of those big glass jars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old water bottles that used to be glass. And she decided it would be a good idea to hold her hand over it. She had to go to the hospital. Walking around with a bandage. What happened, Carol?
Well, I stuck my hand into a flaming pot.
Have you learned hot now?
Burn, baby. Jason, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
You did something that was just so incredibly dumb.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I started at a young age.
Oh, and by the way, I want to put a rule on this, folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Booze cannot be involved in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
No alcohol. This just has to be just dumb you at work. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Well, I didn't start drinking at 8 years old, so
All
I
right.
was pretty young. Well, I got a BB gun for Christmas, one of those little Daisy one-pumpers. You
Yes.
know? And
Awesome.
of course, Daisy one-pumpers, yeah. And of course, I'm all excited about, all the things I'm going to shoot and all the birds and bottles and all that. Well, there was a fly buzzing around my head, so I was trying to shoot a fly. And I was basically doing a 360 trying to shoot, one pump, shoot, one pump, shoot. And I ended up shooting out one of my dad's big sliding glass windows. So, the big doors.
That's a big window. That's a big piece of glass.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive, pretty big, and I've done stuff like that. And also, me and my friend were playing with a table saw, and I decided to throw a little piece of wood at it to see what it would do. Flew right back and hit him in the forehead. Yeah, I'm a brainchild for sure.
Well, you amused the fly, and that was good.
I didn't get him, at least.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks, dude.
I love your show.
I love yours. Let's go with Russ here before we break for sports. The dumbest thing. Russ.
Dave, good morning. How you doing?
Tip top, pal. Let's hear it.
Good. Well, about me and 5 of my buddies, we were decided we were going to take a road trip. Just moved into this one neighborhood, and I had a older 76 Grand Prix. Of course, my car was going to be used because it was the biggest trunk capacity. So knowing the trunk capacity, I was the one packing the trunk. Well, as I was packing everything up, I'm looking in there, making sure everything is the way that it's supposed to be, and all my friends are there. The neighbors are out there as well. And you know how you kind of keep your hand up on the trunk. And of course, being a bigger trunk, you had to slam it pretty hard. Well, once I realized that the trunk was packed and we were ready to go, Well, I slammed the trunk, and one thing that I forgot to do was pull my head out of the trunk before I shut it.
What?
Oh, what? Knocked myself out cold.
Really? How could you do that?
All my neighbors saw it.
Are you calling us from the trunk?
And there's no way to recover from something so stupid.
You shut the trunk on your own damn head?
Yeah, knocked myself out cold. laid there behind the car, and my friends are trying to wake me up. And,
oh my God!
Did you have to go to the hospital?
No, but since then I had to lower my head every time I walk in the neighborhood.
I can handle things. I'm smart.
I know it.
Not like everybody says.
Like what?
Like dumb. I'm smart, and I want respect.
We'll leave it at that, Russ.
You need to move from that neighborhood.
You got the Fredo. You get the Fredo, you know you've really pretty much.
You're a contender.
You've stepped on it.
Yeah.
Contender? He's the king.
We'll find out.
Close your own head in the trunk.
Closed your head in the trunk. 888-570-1015 is our number. This billboard that some guy, of course it was Carolina.
Right.
I don't know if it's north or south. South Carolina. So, you lower the bar automatically for that.
But even with the lowered bar, that was a stupid mistake.
Who's the guy, Jeff Foxworthy?
Yes.
He does a very funny bit on, people think we're stupid because the way we talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because if you were smart, you wouldn't talk that way.
Right. You'd know how stupid it sounds.
You'd know that sounds dumb. Mm-hmm. I'm going to speak with dignity. So, in South Carolina, some guy whose job is to hang billboards, hung up a billboard that has a picture of George Bush on one side and the words like, vote for Al Gore on the other.
Side.
Whatever.
Oh, God.
And I'm wondering if you've done anything that can beat that. Beat that in
I
dumbosity.
think Trunkhead Boy did it.
Well, we'll see. We got room for you. 888-570-1015. Let's go immediately to the chainsaw here on KGB, and good morning.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much, David, and hello again, everybody in the sports world. Present company ineligible to play.
What you got?
I think driving off with the gas nozzle still in the car was pretty boneheaded. Pretty Fredo on my part, I would have to say. $400 later, thing clanging and dangling out as I'm driving onto the street. Oops. Gee, did I take that out of the car or not? I think I did. I'll just drive off without looking back first. That was pretty bright.
The Fredo part is going back to the gas station and going, look what I did. You should have just put it back in the nozzle, stood around, wait for someone to come up, then pull it out and go, what'd you do?
I should have Chris Farley'd it.
Yeah.
I should have. So it's a double Fredo.
It is.
Thank you, David.
Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw. 101 KGB.
Need a car payment that doesn't look like your mortgage? Want a new car but you're buried in your current trade? Don't have any money for a down payment? Then Kearney Mesa Ford can help during our Write Your Own Deal weekend. Pick your down, pick your payment, or if we make a deal, we'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe and put you into one of over 700 new or used vehicles from our massive inventory. That's right. If we make a deal, we'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe. Our finance managers are on hand to get financing as low as 0.9% this weekend. Get a new 2001 Ranger, Mustang, F-Series, Explorer, Focus, Expedition. Your car, your price. See Saturday's Union Tribune ad for all the details. We're just minutes from anywhere in San Diego County at 7303 Claremont Mesa Boulevard, conveniently located between the 805 and 163 freeways. Don't miss Kearney Mesa Ford's Write Your Own Deal weekend. You tell us what you want to pay for your car and drive it home today.
Experience the difference at Kearney Mesa Ford.
This Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m., get free pizza from Domino's.
It seems you never drive anywhere without the kids and their friends, so this is the minivan for you. It's safety on wheels, standard dual front airbags, optional traction control, and built-in child safety seat. And for you, the chauffeur, leather interior and ergonomic captain's chairs. Everything for your kids' safety, everything for your comfort, and everything they would ever want at a chop shop where it'll get hacked up into 100 parts by professional car thieves, all because you didn't ask your car dealer to install LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system used by the police. The average stolen car is recovered with over $5,000 damage. With LoJack, it's usually recovered with less than $1,000 damage. Nationally, stolen cars that have LoJack are recovered approximately 90% of the time. Whether your car is new or used, tell your car dealer you want LoJack installed. Or call 1-800-929-2000 and get it back with LoJack.
Tonight, the NBC Saturday Night Movie, Maverick.
Sometimes when you least expect it, your hero arrives.
Starring Oscar winners Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster.
What were you saying before I went out? Nothing.
I believe he called you a gutless coward.
I was teasing. Teasing? Oh. I don't like being teased.
But Maverick's just part of the story. Because tonight and every week on the Saturday Night Movie, NBC will be giving away $100,000. That's right, $100,000 every week. To find out how to win, log on to movie.nbci.com and play the Saturday Night Movie quiz during the movie. That's movie.nbci.com. Write it down. Unless, of course, you're driving your car, and then don't. Just remember movie.nbci.com. They're giving away $100,000 tonight. Register now to beat the rush. So watch Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster in Maverick.
Don't let her get within 10 yards of that cat.
How dare you?
And log on to movie.nbci.com to win. NBC Tonight.
Don't miss the fun tonight at 8, only on NBC 739.
Oh, I don't understand computers.
Yeah, Chuck, remember the good old days?
No.
Me neither. But remember these?
Is that a McRib sandwich?
It's not a floppy disk.
Yep, McDonald's McRib sandwich is back again. Tender, juicy pork smothered in our own tangy barbecue sauce. Compliments of our new taste menu.
This brings back memories.
What, like 5 or 6 gigabytes?
Oh.
That's a joke, Chucky.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
McDonald's new Fiesta menu's got everyone talking.
Nice burritos.
Spice up your morning with breakfast burritos. Fluffy egg, cheese, hash browns, beans with pico de gallo salsa and our burrito a la mexicana. Or with sausage and our chorizo breakfast burrito. All new and muy delicioso.
What do you think? Que sabroso. What? This tastes great.
The new Fiesta menu. McDonald's. Que gusto verte sonreír. That means we love to see you smile. Burritos served during breakfast hours only at participating McDonald's.
This Saturday, 4 incredible hours only, Perry Ford of Poway will offer every single 2000 Ford Expedition XLT in stock at $7,500 off the total price before discounts as posted by the factory right on the window. Listen carefully. $7,500 off the total price before discounts on every single 2000 Expedition XLT in stock at Perry Ford in Poway this Saturday only, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 noon only. Perry dealerships have over 80 of these XLTs ready for immediate delivery. Call any dealer in America. Ask if they'll take $7,500 off every single 2000 XLT Expedition in stock this Saturday. Then come to Perry Ford of Poway, because we will. 3 miles east off the 15 freeway on Poway Road in Poway. Advertised prices apply to purchases only. Includes $1,000 rebate.
If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save a lot of money, that's our business.
1015 KGB FM San Diego. The Dumb People Parade continues. 1015 KGB, Best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw Show.
Quarter to 9 here on the KGB. It's Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw with a look at traffic. It's Route 66.
Thank you so much, Dave. We have slow traffic continuing North County coastline, South 5 from Carlsbad Village down to Tamarack, and then from Leucadia to Manchester. A couple of accidents adding to that, so that should take quite a while till that finally gets up to full speed. Much better on the South 15, finally clear in Escondido, but slow Camino del Norte to about Mira Mesa. North 805 also continues to have a lot of slow traffic from Plaza Boulevard, then through North Park, then Claremont Mesa up to the 52. Westbound 52 still slows from Tierra Santa, stop and go over to the coast. Westbound 94 slows from the 15 into downtown. All clear now west on 8. Hurry in for LensCrafters $99 prescription sunglass sale. Get prescription sunglasses fully loaded with frames, lenses, tint, and UV protection. Guaranteed only $99. Visit any area LensCrafters for details. Restrictions apply. I'm Ruth 66 with Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw. 1015 KGB.
Shelley, got an email from my buddy Frank in Poway who writes, Dear Dave, I'm embarrassed to even tell this, but I will. One morning I woke up late and went to the kitchen to grab some breakfast. Not having much time, I grabbed the only thing that was quick to cook. Frozen burritos. You know, just pop in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're gone.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Well, there were 2 of them left and they had frozen together. So being the rocket scientist that I am, I grabbed the burritos, cradling them in my left hand with a palm facing up. I took the largest, sharpest, pointiest knife from the butcher block and proceeded to pry the burritos apart.
Good idea, Slappy.
I was pushing and twisting with a great deal of force. When the top burrito broke free, the knife found a new home in my left index finger, cutting all the way to the bone, 3/4 of the way around my finger, an inch below the tip.
Ow.
That's not red sauce.
This happened about 6 years ago. I still don't have all the feeling back. I hope this is a good addition to the parade of stupid things people have done. Love your show, Frank and Poway. I've done the same thing, Frank.
Yeah.
I've done the same exact thing. What was I I was trying to pry apart salmon patties.
No, everybody knows you use a butter knife and then just use a great big spoon and pound down on it.
Nope. You know what I did? I took the biggest, sharpest, pointiest, you can slay a dragon with this knife thing, and I held, and it went right through and stabbed me right in the palm of my hand. And when it was done, I was going, what an idiot. What an idiot.
You can't even cut yourself any slack.
No,
it was dumb.
It's one of those things you step back and you go, how stupid am I?
Well, now you know.
Did you get a corner snipped off your totem chip card? If you were a Boy Scout, you would. That's just bad. Always away from the body, David. Away from the body.
My what card?
Totem chip.
I don't know what that is.
Totem chip. Knives and axes and hatchets. And you get a card after you qualify in the Boy Scouts. And if you violate any of these rules, you get a corner snipped off. And if all 4 corners are snipped, you have to redo the course.
Jip.
I know.
I already got my card.
Sorry.
Yeah, but if you lose a finger, that's no good.
And how do you snip off a corner when you don't have
a finger to snip
it? You shouldn't be handling scissors at that point.
Yeah, really.
It's a very tough rule.
All right. Let's go with Paul next here on the incredible stupidity of him.
Yes.
Hey, Paul. Paul?
I'm too stupid. I punched the phone thing there.
Paul's too stupid to hang on. Paul changed a flat tire, but failed to apply the lug nuts.
Uh-oh.
How'd that work out?
I'd love to hear, but Paul was unable to master the telephone.
King, leftover parts.
That's a good sound.
Here is Jeff next here on I'm So Stupid. How you doing there, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, buddy. Let's hear it.
Well, I used to live in southeastern Wisconsin, and I had a really nice river racing boat. And one day I was taking this girl out, and I didn't want to look like a fool. It had a built-in gas tank to it, so instead of pouring the gas into it at the gas station, I got a gas can, and I got out there, and I was going to try to pump it in. Instead of spilling it all over, I pulled out the hoses on the ends of my bilge pump and stuck one in the gas can and one in the gas tank.
Sure you did.
As I was pumping this thing, I noticed a little haze on the water that was in the bottom of the boat and smelled a strong odor of gas.
Well, it can't be me.
Well, rather than go up to the front and shut the bilge pump off, I reached over and took off the battery cable.
Oh, Jesus.
That'll make it a spark, you know.
This subsequently blew the boat completely up, blew me approximately 35 feet to the end of the pier.
Damn.
I looked like one of those little monkeys you see hopping around on Discovery Channel with no hair on my face, and what was in my head was white. And it blew my boat so far down in the water that it broke the tip of the engine off.
Oh, geez.
So all of my attempts to not look like an idiot in front of this woman failed at that moment.
Did you bag her?
Oh, I think she left moments right after that. I don't know. I was on my way to the hospital.
How's the boat? How's the boat, Jeff?
It didn't make it.
Oh.
It didn't make it.
How about you? Did you make it?
Oh yeah, it was. I was fine after a few weeks and a couple hair transplants.
All right. Thanks, dude. Bye, Jeff.
Don't have children.
I have a boat story.
Oh, let me hear your boat story. Is it any better than your diving into the pool story? When you came in with that neat little chin strap?
Who knew it was really 4 feet deep? Took the boat out. Remember our friend Pete?
Yes.
He used to keep his boat at my house, and no money exchange, just the understanding that I could take it out when I wanted to.
Right, because it was on your property.
Sure, exactly. And he was fine with that. I grew up around boats. So I took the boat out with some friends of mine and my 2 dogs, and we had a picnic lunch, and we were going to grill steaks out on Fiesta Island, but we thought it'd be fun to motor around the bay a little bit first. And so we had done that, and we'd launched it fine, no problem, and my friends were helping me, and after about, an hour on the bay, motoring around, I looked down at the place where you keep the water skis.
Mm-hmm.
There's a compartment. And the top of that, the lid of that, was floating because the boat had filled up with water. Because my friend Pete had, I guess one of his rituals was to take the plug out and keep it in the little cup holder back by the...
So you had a hole in the boat.
Yeah. So I went back to the dock. Well, I'm going to keep a clear head. I said, here are the keys. Everyone get off the boat. You go back the trailer down, and I'm going to try to plane it out so I can maybe get a little water out, and then we'll put it up on the trailer and drain it. No big deal, but hurry. And hurry. It was so heavy I couldn't get the boat to plane because there was so much water in it. So eventually we did, there are problems, issues with backing a trailer if you haven't done it before. So that was going wrong. Yeah. So finally, my friend got the trailer backed up right. We got the boat on the trailer, and it drained for an hour. Well, there's still daylight. Let's go ahead and finish our mission. We found the plug. Let's go ahead and do that. So we get out in the boat, get the dogs, get the gear, get the people, launch the boat again, got the plug in it this time. We're safe, no problem. Go over to Fiesta Island and find a nice sandy shoreline, which most of it is, and gently pull the boat up, and we get out and go have our steaks, and it was great, and the dogs were running around, and we're all having fun, and there's a big campfire going, and I look out, and the tide's gone down. The boat is now 25 feet up on the shore.
Come on!
I can handle things. I'm smart.
Not Fredo. Yes. Come on, not Fredo. I didn't blow it up.
You got the
Not like everybody says.
So what'd you do at that point?
4 adults can move a boat if they have to.
Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
But then they never want to go on a picnic with you again.
Captain Shelley Hazelwood, thank you.
I know.
How you doing, Brian?
Oh, just great, Dave.
What you got? How dumb are you, Brian?
Well, I'm so dumb that I keep believing Jason when he says, you're next, you're next.
Sorry about my little story.
This happened in your adopted hometown of Indianapolis.
Okay.
Back when Bob Baker, who's all over the place here, used to be all over the place there. I had a car in the shop at Bob Baker Chrysler, I think it was, back then. And I got into a fight with my parents about something I was all TO'd, and I had to go pick up the car that was in the shop. So I stormed out of the house, got in the car, and drove to the shop to pick up the car. And I pulled into the parking lot and realized that I was by myself, and there wasn't any way I could drive 2 cars home.
No! Drove yourself to the service station to pick up the other car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, and it took me the entire time. I didn't think about it until I pulled into the parking lot and realized what I had done.
Well, that's just you, Brian.
Well, you were just a kid then.
We've come to expect that from you.
A lot of people have that.
Did you get all the way to the gas station and realize, ooh, wait a minute. And did you hear that sound?
Wait a minute.
Because that's a good indication that you've stepped on it again.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I hear that sound a lot in my head.
Love your show, Dave.
I love yours.
See you, man.
Beth's favorite saying around the house now is, I'm not a smart man. Hear it all the time. All the time. I think it's very fair.
Well.
Here's Tom on the KGB. How you doing there, Tom?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. Back in high school, I was in Newport, Rhode Island, and one Saturday night, me and my girlfriend were at the beach, second beach parking lot, and we were on the beach, and so they locked the gate after a while, and we were there too long, and I guess the gate got locked on us, and I had to get the car out, obviously, to get her home. And I was trying to figure out how to get out of there, and I noticed there's a nice dune, and then there's like a little ditch, and then there's another little dune, and then there was the road, and I thought, you know what, I can jump that. so I had a 1970 Chevelle Super Sport, and I was on one side of the parking lot.
You evil Knieveled your way out?
Well, I attempted to. I kept her out of the car,
and I said, okay, here I go. And I floored it, took off towards the dune, and I realized, like, I'm going way too fast. I'm going to crash into this dune, or I realized it was pretty stupid what I was doing. So I slammed on the brakes, which is even dumber because I'm on the sand, the sand in the parking lot, so I just slide up the dune. I cross over, the car's got enough momentum to cross halfway across the two dunes. So I ended up stopped with my front bumper on one dune, my rear bumper on the other, and all four wheels just standing in the air.
That's pretty stupid, Tom.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yep.
So I opened up the door, I looked down, and I got like 4 feet to jump down, and anyways, I ended up calling the cops, and they came and towed me out of there. And
you ask Evel Knievel, he'll tell you the best time to hit the brakes is not going up the ramp.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I did.
Not all daredevils know that. Thank you, Tom.
Okay. Bye.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll get you on the radio next year. How dumb are you? I mean, seriously, just how dumb are you? I'm starting to think Shelley's won herself a prize.
Oh, now stop it. I did not slam my head in a trunk and knock myself out.
Yeah, but you did 2 dumb things in one day.
And that's the last dumb thing I've ever done. What? What are you laughing at?
Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw. We'll be right back. KGB.
People really did. It's the best of DSC on the 101.5 KGB FM.
All right. Just how stupid are you? Here is Denise bragging about how dumb she is.
I'm pretty stupid.
All right, Denise, let's hear it.
All right, when I was in junior high school, I was in the kitchen with my sister, and we had those kind of coffee pots that are old, those old kind of perks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like an old Corning or something with a glass bubble up top.
Well, kind of. All right, you plug it in and it perks, that kind. Not the kind that drips.
Right.
So I don't know why, but I thought it would be a good idea if I went over and just took the lid off the coffee pot, and I put my face over it to watch it perk.
No more bullets.
Yeah, well, it perked all over my face.
Oh,
and
ouch.
I rolled around in the floor laughing, but crying at the same time because it really hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see the second perk? I mean, did it shoot the ceiling or something?
No, unfortunately, I only saw one perk, and that was pretty much it.
We had these big bottles of, it was like poster paint in grade school. And they were like a big ketchup bottle, and it had a little twist-off cap, and it would reveal a little spout. So you could out and mix it all up. And some of them were dry, and so you'd squeeze them and go, oh, this one's dry, throw it away.
Yeah.
So another one, I thought, gee, I wonder if this one's all hardened up. Right up the nose.
Oh.
All right.
You might win now.
I might.
That's pretty good.
I think that was the same week when my dad said, don't touch that stove, it's hot. What do you mean, Dad? Stop!
Brad, how you doing?
Doing good, Dave. How you doing?
Good. Let me hear it.
I don't think I can top Boyer, but I'll try.
Paint up the nose.
The Navy moved me back east to Virginia years ago, and I rented a house from a guy who happened to live right next door. And we had a little kind of a common patio area between our houses. And I was going to have a little barbecue one afternoon, and I had the charcoals going, and I thought I had a fire going. Came back outside, and to see the fire was apparently extinguished. So, being, of course, one of the stupider people in the area at the time, I found a gas can with a little bit of gas in it.
Goody.
And I decided I'm just going to drip a little bit on the charcoals, of course. And there's still a little bit of flame in there, somewhere enough to light the spout of gas, and now I've got a flaming gas can in my hand. So, of course, being that stupid person, I decide I'm just going to throw the gas can, getting it out of my hand, thinking, okay, I saved my own skin.
Right.
Gas can comes to rest upside down against a fence between our houses, pouring gas out on fire. So I don't know what, in what seemed to me to be an instant, which was probably a couple minutes, I realized I better do something to fight this fire. Grab a hose, garden hose, Now, anybody knows you don't put water on a gas or oil fire, Dave.
Yep.
What I did, and we had a mass conflagration, and we had both houses on fire.
Oh, Jesus.
My landlord's house and my house, which I had just moved into about 2 weeks ago. And it got pretty ugly with the whole fire situation there, Dave.
House is okay?
Well, nobody was home at his house, and nobody was hurt in my house.
So it doesn't really
that
count. Okay, all right. Got it, Brad.
Nobody really got hurt.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, Dave. Love your show.
I love yours.
It's a flaming moat of protection. I mean, there were some bandits in the neighborhood.
Sounds like someone I could date.
Rob, how you doing? Oh.
Oh, no.
I wanted to hear that one, so...
What was his thing?
Well, I'll never forget how many times I had to hear, David, the right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
Right tool. He was trying to cut rope with a power drill.
Whatever.
Does that work?
No. You'll tend to snag the rope on the drill, and suddenly there's a lot of twisting and slapping. And
You're kidding.
Oh, funny.
Listen to this one. Dear Dave, when I was 8.5 months pregnant, I decided to go to the park with my dog. I loaded my 8.5 months pregnant.
That's big.
I mean, that's Bombay doors open.
Yeah, that's huge.
Okay. I loaded my 110-pound German Shepherd into the back of my CRX.
Good idea.
I believe that's the tiniest Honda of them all.
I think you're right.
And backed out of my driveway. Oop, I don't have my cell phone, so I got out of the car while it was running, went into the house to grab my phone. When I came back out, I noticed something different. My car was no longer there. My first reaction was someone stole it.
Sure they did.
But then I went to the end of the driveway and saw it rolling down the street, dog and
Doggy,
all.
oh no.
I went running as fast as a pregnant woman could, but I never reached it before it smashed into my neighbor's new truck.
Oh.
After that, I remembered to set the parking brake each time.
I had a neighbor whose car rolled away.
Yeah.
We lived at the top of a pretty good-sized hill. It rolled all the way down the hill into a neighbor's yard, made a turn, and went down the street, and it wound up hitting nothing.
Wow. Just rolled to a stop?
It rolled to a stop in some guy's yard.
Lucky.
And, I'm Mike, pounding on the door, Mike, and he runs out. Ah!
Dave, I have the terrible habit of ironing my clothes while nude.
Oh, no.
Oh.
What's the matter? Frying bacon got old?
Well, one day while ironing a shirt, the ironing board was at the right height when I went around a button.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
I put a really nice button brand on the top of my
Flugelhose.
Everybody knows when you do nude housework or things like that, you're supposed to wear an apron.
Dave, one morning I was shaving with my injector-type razor, and it was time to trim the sideburns. I put the razor up to my sideburn and tried a couple of times to trim the sideburn level. I had a brilliant idea. Why not put the razor up to my sideburn and saw back and forth, side to side?
What's that do?
I did, and had quite a nice cut to show for it. You can imagine having to explain stupid is quite a few times.
You're not smart enough to have sideburns.
Love your show, Dan Rogers.
I have a couple, Dave, when you run out of them.
Let me hear what you got, Ruth.
Well, I don't know if you ever saw this big giant scar I have on my right hand. My thing of when I have a hard time shaking hands with people because they always put their thumb right down and they press right down on my scar and it hurts. And it was when I was 19. I was working in this kitchen, working in the back, just doing my chores, and all these really hot, broad waitresses worked in there, and I'm just the lowly kitchen help. So this one hot, broad waitress is talking to me, and I'm slicing bread. And the you know those meat slicers? You've seen those things?
Yeah.
All the delis and stuff have them. So it's just slicing away on automatic all by itself. So it gets to the middle of the loaf, which is a little bit thicker than at the ends. So I needed to adjust it so it would, change a little bit. And so instead of turning it off and adjusting it automatically, I just stuck my hand right in there. This big old geyser of blood. I get blood all over the hot broad, all over me, and all over the floor. It was just like gushing. Oh, God, it was a mess.
I think everyone who operates those things suffers an injury.
It's like, what the heck was I not paying attention for?
Well, do you want to hear the winner?
Yeah.
You want to hear the winner?
Yeah, come on. I mean, I'm pretty well convinced that the guy who slammed his head in the trunk.
That's pretty good.
Because that's pretty stupid.
I don't think that one wins. It may, but listen to this. Will Thompson writes me. Dear Dave, about 5 years ago, I was cleaning my ear with a Q-tip.
No. No.
Now, haven't we all discovered that DMZ line with a
Yes.
Q-tip? You're going along and all of a sudden,
You don't go any further. You get resistance, you stop.
But haven't you gone too far? Haven't you ever done it?
I've been pretty lucky.
You haven't? Oh, I've done
Yeah.
it. I've gone too far, and it's like, ow.
I've hit it.
Ow.
There's a little zone for me that if I think it's approaching that area and I'll start sneezing.
No, this
So
is...
then I can't go any further.
5 years ago, I was cleaning my ear with a Q-tip. While in the process, I stopped and talked to my 2 small children,
No.
leaving the Q-tip in my ear.
Never good. Never good. Never good.
One of the kids caught a ball,
No.
and I pumped my arms in the air, yelling, yeah.
And?
Plunging the Q-tip into my ear, stabbing, puncturing my eardrum.
I've never felt better about the comfort of my headphones.
I'm turning down my headphones now. I'm turning them down.
I'm holding mine. I'm holding my ears through my headphones.
How many years would that headache last? Forever.
Mommy.
It would never go away.
After one operation, I still have constant ringing to this day. Mommy.
And yet she chooses to listen to us through the ringing. We probably sound better that way.
Mommy.
Mommy wants
I want my mommy.
Uh,
That's nasty.
I got one.
All right, bring it on.
You're sitting in your recliner. I think this has maybe happened to everybody. You're sitting in your recliner, laying on your couch, and a fly is buzzing around your head. You swat, you wave, you grasp, you see if you can catch it. And you grasp, you snatch and close, and suddenly there's no fly to be seen at that point.
Yeah,
Did you catch it?
I've
Did
got
you
it.
catch it, or is it hiding? Choices.
Right.
Do you get up, close-fisted, walk all the way to the door, open the door, and release the fly outside? Or do you check and see if indeed you caught it right from your recliner? Yeah. But by opening your hand, you release the fly into your space again with no chance of catching it again. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Have you ever done that?
I thought something catastrophic was going to happen.
Nothing.
You caught a fly and let it go?
But before, you say, all right, I finally caught this. I'm rid of this menace. But first, before I make the effort of going outside and releasing it, let me check right here to see if I caught it. You open your hand, bzz, it goes away. Now, that's not catastrophic, but it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Well, both of my dogs are forced to try and catch a fly when it's buzzing around them. And then sometimes they get it.
They try and catch with their mouths.
Sure. That's all they have.
That snapping that they make.
And then they snap and they get it and they...
What do they do that for?
I caught a fly. There.
Everyone's run out of patience.
A buddy of mine was on a trip and was unloading his small children from the car. It's at night. You've been on the road for 8 hours, and you put the car seat on the roof.
No.
You go inside.
No, don't do this.
And, you think, all right, everyone's in bed. Next morning, there's the kid asleep on the roof in the car seat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Friend of yours, not you?
Guptal. It was Guptal. Yeah, Guptal did it. The kid's fine. No emotional scars. They have separation issue. It gets cold easily. But anyway.
Jeez.
That's the Raising Arizona thing.
Yeah. That's
Remember the
whole
guys
reason
drove
you hated
away?
that movie.
Guys drove away with a baby on the hood.
Yeah.
I got another one.
All right.
This is the stupidest story of how I met my ex-husband. When I was 19, I'm living at the beach, and I'm walking down the street. It's middle of the afternoon, and I decided I'm going to go to the bar, and I'm going to go get drunk. So I'm walking down the street, and there's 2 guys on the other side of the street hitchhiking. And they strike up a conversation with me, and we talk and stuff, and they end up walking with me going to this bar, and then, the rest was history after that. But the guys were hitchhiking because they were so stoned when they changed their oil, they forgot to put oil back in the car. That's pretty stupid. And I guess it cracks your block. Is that what's called, Boyer?
Now you probably spin a bearing.
Right.
It just pretty much, the engine blows up and it's no good anymore. I mean, that should have been my very first clue. That this guy was stupid.
You married that guy?
I married that guy.
Turned her lesbian. Just like that.
Let me do one more. Here is Chad before the break here. Chad, how you doing?
Good, Dave.
Tell me the stupid story.
All right, my cousin was working late at night, and my uncle kind of got worried for his little girl, so he bought one of those taser guns and decides he's going to try it out first before he gives it to her. So he shocks himself.
He tries it out on himself?
Yeah, on his leg.
A taser gun.
Knocking himself flat on his butt, out like a light.
That's pretty stupid.
That's like my friend who I forgot something in the car, and she was in the passenger seat, and I always kept pepper spray on my keychain.
Well, I was just thinking about Chainsaw with his
Yeah, it was just like that.
uncles.
Yeah.
Oh, they try this.
That's pretty stupid. That's right.
And I came out to the car and she'd pepper sprayed herself. Carol, same friend. Carol, what'd you do? That air freshener sucks. Carol, it's pepper spray.
There's nothing freshening about that. Air freshener sucks. New from Renewsit.
Right.
It's police brutality pepper scent.
You'll love it.
The DNC! Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw will be right back.
This is the KGB.
This is Doc Severinsen. Dave, Shelley, Chainsaw. That should be Chainsaw. Well, I just changed your name, you mother. Would you guys just shut up and play some?
Flying at 4, semi-mains will be about 6:30, so get up there at the Super Speedway half-mile paved oval. If you dig that. Plus, racing in our town continues tonight at Verona Speedway. The Speedway Midgets, 250s, 600s, Dwarf Car Invitational, go-karts, and mini dwarfs. If you want to go see some racing action in our town, quarter-mile dirt track at Verona, we'll set you up with a free pair of tickets right now. We have 10 pairs to give away, 888-570-1015. Get on the blower right now. Give us your name. We will put you in line for free at the box office at Verona Speedway tonight. Well, baseball has pretty well seen its season draw to a close, but it was not without a few exciting moments during the World Series. And here to highlight those, the Dean of American Sportscasters, Cookie the Chainsaw Randolph, on the 101.5 KGB Best of DSC.
Hello again, everybody, in the sports world. The Yankees beat the Mets 6-5 last night to take a 2-0 lead in the World Series, but the game has been overshadowed by a bizarre play during the much ballyhooed showdown between Yankees pitcher Roger Clemens and Mets slugger Mike Piazza, who have a history. Clemens beaned Piazza during the regular season in an interleague game. So, during Piazza's first at-bat against Clemens at Yankee Stadium last night, Piazza swung at Clemens' pitch. The bat shattered on contact with the ball. The biggest chunk of wood bounced directly towards Clemens, who fielded on one hop and then hurled it towards the first baseline, right in front of Piazza, who was running to first, not knowing he had a foul ball. So he just ran, assuming that, hey, if it's fair, I better run towards first, as he held the remaining stick of wood. Did Clemens do this on purpose? Did he plan to break Piazza's bat and then throw a chunk of wood at him?
I saw him with a hacksaw over by the bullpen a little earlier.
The Yankees manager Joe Torre doesn't think so.
I mean, that to me is the simple question. Let's not take the fact that what happened, but let's try to analyze it and why would he throw him out? So he get thrown out of the game in the second game of the World Series? Does that make any sense to anybody?
I don't know.
Or is that too a story to write?
Oh, man.
Ooh, did he curse?
Huh? Let me answer. Somebody answer me. You guys ask me questions. Somebody answer my question.
Okay.
Why would he do it? Because he's angry with him?
Yes.
That's reason?
Yeah.
Because he's angry. So he's angry with him, so he screws 24 other people on his team?
Not thinking about that.
He got thrown out of a World Series game in Oakland one day.
Because he's a butthead.
But why would he do it?
He lost his mind.
Wouldn't Mike Piazza be mad at him instead?
Yeah.
Now, why would he hit him in the head? Now figured throw a bat and hit him in the knee. I mean, this
He didn't
would
hit him in the
completely disable this kid.
He missed. He just sent a message back.
Still haven't given me an answer.
I did. I just gave you an answer.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have an answer because there is no answer. It
Hey.
doesn't make sense. Now, should he have done it? No. But I think it was very emotional.
All right. Roger Clemens, what's your take on this?
Before I had let go of the bat, I had no idea that Mike had ran, and I told Charlie, the umpire, that.
Charlie, the umpire.
There was no intent. Again, fired up and emotional, and grabbed the bat to sling it towards our on-deck circle, where our bat boys were at.
Sure.
And had no idea that Mike was running on the foul ball. So there was no intent there, and that really wasn't the substance of the game.
I think he just fielded the ball and just threw it as a message. If he wanted to hit Piazza, he would have. That's my take. What's your take, Mike Piazza?
As I said, I don't think it's intent. I just was confused. I mean, number one, I was a little disoriented because obviously my bat shattered, and I had really no idea where the ball was.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, even when everybody came out, I talked to the umpire,
Charlie,
one of the umpires, and I said, "Where the hell did the ball go?" I mean, I really had no clue. So when I started slowly jogging down the line, because again, I really was I had no idea where the ball was, and then. Again, when he threw the bat, I basically, after that, just walked out to see what his problem was. I started asking him, and
didn't get no answer.
He really had no response, so I was, like taken back. It was.
What's your problem?
This is bizarre. It was bizarre.
Yes. What I'm very encouraged to hear is that instead of disorientated, Piazza said disoriented.
Oh, that's not the way you say
I
it,
know.
Mike.
Come on, Mike. Get with the program here. Game 3 tomorrow night at Shea Stadium. Mets must now win 4 out of 5 games to prevent the Yankees from winning their 3rd straight series and 4th in 5 years. 14 World Series games in a row the Yankees have won. In football, plenty of action yesterday. The Chargers, of course, remain 0-7 after their bye weekend. St. Louis Rams superstar quarterback Kurt Warner will be out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken pinky finger suffered during a wild 54-34 loss at Kansas City. Wow. Marshall Faulk also hurt in that game, his shoulder. More testing to follow to see how badly. Cincinnati Bengals running back Corey Dillon, who, well, he broke Walter Payton's all-time single-game rushing record of 275 yards. Good little runner. 278 yards in one game running as the Bengals' first victory of the year. That's now your all-time single-game mark. 31-21 over Denver, leaving San Diego as the NFL's only winless team. First win for Cincinnati. Ricky Williams, who had a rotten time of it last year as a rookie with the New Orleans Saints. He's from San Diego, of course. He rushed for over 100 yards for the 5th straight game. 3 touchdowns yesterday as his New Orleans Saints have won 3 straight. Now, 4-3, 21-19 over the Falcons. Ricky Williams, it turns out, or it's turning out, is for real after all. Other highlight, the Raiders lost-arced Seattle 31-3. The 0-7 Chargers host the 6-1 Raiders this Sunday evening at the Q on national television. And tonight, Shelley, a great one. 5-1 Miami will visit 5-1 Jets on Monday Night Football. As always, hosted by Miss Shelley Dunn at Hooters Pacific Beach. And kudos to San Diego State. The Aztecs, after 8 consecutive heartbreaking defeats in Provo, finally defeat BYU on a last-second Nate Tanberg field goal from 36 yards, 16-15 your final. And how about that Andrew Galata? He quit after 2 rounds in the big fight against Mike Tyson on Friday night in Auburn Hills, Detroit area. People were saying, why aren't you getting back in there? Something wrong with you? What's the matter? Did you get hit in the head or something? I think he's fine. Listen to this.
Mr. Galata, Andrew, the crowd is stunned. They can't believe it. What happened?
First of all, it wasn't my day today, but I got a headbutt. A referee didn't respond pretty much well as he's supposed to.
But you're a warrior, Andrew. You're a fighter.
Award him.
But you're a fighter that the crowd pays.
I got dizziness in my head. That's it.
What made you dizzy? Was it that first knockdown? What about the knockdown? Did you really recover from that knockdown at the end of the first round?
Actually, I was just sleep. You know, I hasn't been hit very well. You know, just I was sleep. I was sleep on the down, and then that's it. I stood up.
Fake.
What a chicken. I think he's just making it up so I can walk away with $2 million with part of his health intact. David.
I watched the end where he quits, and the trainers. I mean, what the F are you doing? You F up. You know, what the... I mean, really mean to him, you know?
Yeah.
And have you ever tried to feed a child... like strained carrot, like a baby, strained carrots with a spoon.
Yes.
And you're trying to get the spoon in, and the kid's moving his head all up. That's exactly what was happening with his mouth guard. First of all, this guy towers over his trainers and managers by like 2 feet.
Right.
So these guys are walking around with their arms straight up in the air with their mouth guards, trying to jam it in his face, trying to get it into his pie hole, and he's going, no.
I won't fight.
The Piazza Clemens controversy, neither one will fess up to what they really feel about this thing. But what I love about Fox is they do this thing called Sounds of the Game. I love that. Have you noticed
yes,
that they
I have.
do this?
Mm-hmm.
And we have the incident, the sounds of the game. I don't know how they do this, but they get microphones on these guys. And we have the sounds of the game from when Clemens threw the bat at Mike Piazza. Let's listen.
You dick.
So, there you go.
Wow. 7:31. 8 seconds. This is your 1015 KGB Sports Network.
Did you just make that up?
Oh, my.
If you're in the market
Ask
for
a woman to marry you. There's a big meatball you're hanging out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, geez, I haven't had the courage, haven't had the desire yet either. Part of it probably comes from my believing that up to this point I haven't met the right woman. A smart woman with a rich father who owns a liquor store and has a bad heart. Still looking, though. If you know any, 570-1015. Well, we had an email from a guy who was involved in a bit of an embarrassing situation, a marriage proposal gone awry. And it wasn't one of these small-time, small-scale restaurant corner kind of things where you can sulk off and cry and wallow in your own shame and pity. Nope. Right out there in front of everybody. And, man, I was really surprised. We had phone calls about this, and people had comments and experiences that I would have never imagined. Marriage proposals gone awry on the best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw. This is the 1015 KGB-FM San Diego.
Well, I've got a letter from someone whose day didn't go so well.
Oh, no. Hate to hear it.
So good.
Ruthie.
Dave, the other day I was at a hockey game. I got to help a guy ask his girlfriend if she would marry him.
Oh, that's nice.
During a stoppage of play, I walked up behind him, introduced him, and said that he had something he'd like to say. Apparently this guy does announcements at the hockey games.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this. Does this happen? Do people propose marriage in the middle of stoppage of play or something?
At ball games, I've heard about it. Baseball games on the, Cindy, will you marry me?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Ronnie, that kind of thing.
Well, this involved a microphone.
Uh-oh.
He said, I walked up behind them, introduced him, and said that he had something he'd like to say. He stood up, announced that he loved her, and then took a knee and proposed. Oh, cheering, uproar of cheering.
Uh-huh.
She put her hand over her face. I thought she was embarrassed or crying. And they put the mic by her and said, well, what do you say? And she replied,
I don't think so.
Oh, my God. Oh, but all those people.
I've never heard the arena so quiet in my life.
Crickets. There were crickets.
Even the crickets were quiet.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I, along with 5,000 other people, shocked. Why couldn't she have just said okay and then later, in the privacy of the two, explained that she didn't want to save the guy's feelings? I don't think chicks think about this sometimes.
Or maybe she did think about it.
What?
Here's the perfect chance to get this bastard back for splattering on the rim and not aiming well in the bathroom and moving his socks around and
peeing on my floor. Oh, sorry.
The way he talks about my mother.
Let me tell you something.
Might be right.
You don't get over that.
I'm sure you don't.
You take that to your box.
I'll bet you do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can you imagine the next time he asks a nice girl to marry him? Oh, my God.
I don't think he'll ever ask again.
I don't think he'll do it in front of a stadium full of people.
And maybe he should have thought of that.
Duh.
You know?
People do it all the time, though.
I know, but I have to assume that those are the couples who know, who have discussed it, who've planned the wedding, who've talked about the number of children.
I don't know. Every time I see it, it looks like a great big surprise for the girl.
Well, I think just the overwhelming moment, you know, is the big surprise that you see.
You know, there's a thing in there's a need in guys, I think, to show off, to present surprises.
Huh, you think?
Things like that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what this is. Huh?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what this accomplishes. I'm showing off, I'm surprising my woman, I'm making her the center of attention, da-da-da-da-da. But for someone to just,
I don't think so.
in front of 5,000 people.
Well, we've had guys on this show. We've done, try to patch relationships up, and the guy will talk about how he's really goofed it up and really screwed it up royally. Well, Dave, I think I'd like to ask her to marry me.
Right.
And maybe that was this case where he had just been a complete screw-up for 3 months. I know how I'll solve it. We'll make it a permanent issue.
But isn't it incumbent on another person to save the other person's feelings?
It depends on...
What does it hurt the girl to say, yeah, okay, sure, let's go? And then they get home and they say, look, you put me in a really awkward position there, and I didn't want to embarrass you in front of 5,000 people, but no, I do not want to get married.
Yeah, I might say yes at the moment and then say, I need to leave. I have a splitting headache.
Wow.
Let's go.
I mean, aren't you absolutely required to do that as a human being?
I don't know. I hate to say yes if I mean no.
Yeah, Shelley at the hockey stick.
Let me see the ring. Have you been a jeweler's loop? Are there any jewelers here at the hockey game?
Is there a jeweler in the house?
I just hate to say yes if I mean no.
Why?
Oh, God.
Why?
Because-
Why would you even
Because
consider
at that
doing
point-
something so mean?
Because at that point, the guy has really been mean because he hasn't even considered my feelings at all. You know, if there's a chance that I'm going to say no and the guy doesn't know it, no business asking me to marry him.
Well, he doesn't, I mean, no guy can know everything a woman is ever going to say. Good God. Good God.
I think you could have a pretty good idea about that.
Well, obviously he did.
Yeah.
Obviously he thought he had a good
Obviously
idea.
he thought he did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm stunned that you would consider being the same way as this woman was.
I think I probably would save face for him.
Yeah.
But I would hate every minute of it if I really didn't want to marry the guy.
Well, of course you would. It would be an unpleasant experience, but you would do that to avoid embarrassing this guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, what comes first? He's embarrassed the hell out of her by
Right.
putting her on the spot like that.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, why can't she be truthful?
Oh, so you do it too, Jane?
Oh, God. Seriously?
I think, yeah.
I'd be too
If you're so
embarrassed.
clueless that you don't know she's going to say yes.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, I think it might be because
Being a dope is not his fault. We don't blame Boyer for being a dope.
I do.
Yeah, we do.
No, we
Who
don't.
else do
He
you
could
blame?
try harder.
We get upset about it.
Yeah.
But we know there's nothing that he can do. We know that it's not
Oh,
his
he could do plenty.
No, he can't. He's hopeless.
He could do plenty.
Lost cause.
We could kidnap him and take him to one of those dork deprogramming camps.
Nah,
who's
he'd
kidding
ditch
who?
it like Daryl Strawberry.
Who's kidding who? Come on.
I don't know. I would feel. I would think even if I said yes, anyone in the 5,000 member crowd would see on my face There's going to be a big talk when we get out of here.
What is it about in front of 5,000 people you think you lose your coolness that
No.
you say yes to? Well, I mean, the moment has suddenly become a very public spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you pretend to save the guy's feelings?
Don't like to pretend.
Don't like to pretend?
Well, I don't like to pretend just to save his feelings. I mean, it's like Chainsaw said, which came first? He's the one who opened this up to an arena of 5,000 people. That wasn't my choice.
But he didn't do it to be mean. He didn't do it out of spite or.
But I think
out of-
sometimes.
Wait. He didn't. He did it. He did it with nothing but good intentions.
I think sometimes men do that with the intent of having the 5,000 people backing him.
Coercion.
In hopes that
pressure.
you will say yes.
Ego.
Right. In hopes that you will say yes because you're afraid to say no in front of a big crowd.
Here's Tony on the KGB. What's going on there, Tony?
Hey, Dave. Hey, check it out. I think Shelley's right. True enough, it was a little catty of her to, to say it right there. But you know what? The guy opened himself up to it.
It's a big risk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge risk.
And do you take that risk if you are not 100% certain she's going to love everything about the moment?
That's right. I mean, you take the same risk if you ask her in the living room as you do out in front of 5,000 people.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Well, she could say no in the living room. She could say no in front of 5,000 people.
Where would you rather be rejected? In the privacy of your living room where only she...
Absolutely.
Or in front of 5,000 people? It's not the same thing.
Yeah, but it's still the same risk. It's still the same risk of her saying no.
Yeah, I understand that, but the fallout of being rejected in front of 5,000 people in public.
Yeah, I mean, you just upped the stakes.
And whose fault is that? His or hers?
It's his.
I think so, too.
It's his fault.
Oh.
He's the one that didn't think about it.
All right, thank you. You guys are cold-hearted bastards.
You are. I'm with you, Dave. I could never, even if I didn't want to, I could never say no. I'd be too embarrassed.
What if the situation were reversed? Let's say it's a somewhat rocky relationship, but you're having a good month, and the woman decides, well, I'm liberated. I'm going to ask him to marry me in front of all his guy pals at the bar.
Putting you under the heat lamp.
That's right.
Coercion.
And she gets down on one knee, and she's got a nice rock for you, or
emotional
the keys
blackmail.
to a sports car. The keys to a sports car, something a man would value, and she waves that in front of you and says,
Oh, I'd say yes, and I'd mean it. There's a sports car involved. Let me get you on the radio.
Really?
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear from guys, and guys, seriously, I'll stay on your side if you got rejected in public. Oh man.
Not saying I don't feel for a guy who's been through that.
Oh, you do not.
I do feel
do
for him. I
not.
just wouldn't marry him just
You
to
do
make
not.
him feel better.
You can't sit here and take that stance and say, "Oh, but I feel for you."
I feel for you, dumb guy who did something stupid.
You know
okay.
what? To you, dear. No way. No way. Carl.
Yo.
Give me call letters and a time check.
It is the 1015 KGB, 6:32 in the morning.
What's going on, dude?
Hey, man. That guy really opened himself up for some major criticism, didn't he? But you know what? All I want to know is who won the hockey game.
You don't care about the proposal. You just want to see some goals.
Yeah, if you open yourself up for stupid stuff like that, hey, be prepared to take the heat when it comes down, right?
Carl.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl.
Ice cold. You guys are cold-hearted bastards. You really are. You are ice cold.
But
no
we're
humanity.
Honest.
No humanity. Sean, what's going on?
Good morning, Coop.
Morning, Coop.
Hey, listen, I'm with you, Dave. First of all, if you try to read a woman's mind, it's a lost cause because they don't have one in the first place. And what they do have, they're changing all the time. And they want us to be romantic all the time. I mean, this kind of thing is what they're asking you to do.
Oh yeah, romance at the hockey game.
Gay?
I agree with Sean about how you're always looking for something special.
Yeah,
You're way off base if you think special is at the hockey game.
Let me ask you something. How the hell do we know?
Get a clue. Get a clue. We're only going to the hockey game to make you happy.
We're not chicks.
Hey, there are chicks who like hockey.
I stopped trying to read my wife's mind a long time ago. I just kind of wait for her to make a suggestion. I go, oh, okay. And then you got to immediately do it after they suggest it because they, you know, if you do something, what they want to do, he says, well, I never told you I wanted to do that. And it's like, you can't win.
No, you can't win.
You
You're
just
right.
can't win.
We've all seen this, haven't we? We've all seen these things on TV, or we've been to the games, or we've seen it on TV shows. I mean, you see it a few times every year. All of a sudden, there's a guy going down on one knee, and the girl bursts into tears, and he brings out the ring, and they hug, and it looks really romantic and cute and sweet and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's in our minds. That's in our minds, and the guy thinks, I'm going to try and do that.
Ugh.
And then the cold-hearted bastard.
No.
Oh, jeez.
No.
No. I don't think so.
No, thank you.
I'd have thrown her down on the ice. Have your way with her, boys.
Well, if she says yes, and he says, black, no change back, then that's it. She's committed. She has to marry him.
Good point. I hadn't thought about that.
See, maybe she didn't want to risk that. Just to save your face.
Well, I'd love to hear if you've got the guts, guys. I'd love to hear from you if you have a rejection story. And if you have the gall, women, to tell us how you rejected a guy. Love to hear it.
The best of DSC.
This used to be a cool station until they put these dorks on.
101.5 KGB.
Dear friends, dear loved ones, even my moth-eaten sweater won't protect me against the chill of the cold-heartedness. The ice-cold black-heartedness of people. People who say,
No, I don't think so.
and you know she said it in a snotty little way like that. Right into the microphone. Guy proposes at a hockey game in front of 5,000 people. Gets down on an A, brings out the ring, la, 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 the whole routine. What do you think, Missy?
I don't want to.
Well, she was honest.
Yeah, well, you'll feel pretty happy with yourself when we start getting real honest with you girls.
Oh, I think you already have been.
Do these pants make me look fat? No. Fat makes you look fat.
Do I ever ask that? Because I know what the
You're
answer is.
a chick? Of course you do.
I know the answer. I'm sure as hell not going to ask one of you guys.
Well, of course you don't ask us, but you're going to ask some poor, unsuspecting shemp.
No. We know better, huh, Shell?
Absolutely. That's a question you ask your gay friends and your girlfriends.
You guys are lying.
We
you
can
guys are
pretty-
flat out lying.
No.
All chicks at some point in their life say they ask how this outfit makes them look. Maybe you don't do it anymore, but you did do it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
All right, you're all
Yeah.
offenders.
I
That doesn't
used to,
make you.
sure.
That doesn't clear you just because you don't do it anymore.
We know better.
Well, I got smart. I got the honest answer. Just like I would never propose in front of 5,000 people if I wasn't absolutely certain that he was going to say yes.
Well, listen.
I'm not going to ask how this outfit makes me look.
Guys proposing,
mirror.
making a spectacle out of proposing. That's your fault.
Why?
Because if we didn't have you constantly harping and yapping,
I want something romantic. I want something special.
and and talking to your friends in front of us,
Oh, well, I heard that Evan,
Peggy's boyfriend Evan,
yeah.
and then you give us that sneering look. If it was up to us,
Wow, you might have some issues.
if it was up to us, yeah, I'm a guy. I'm a heterosexual. That's
Yeah,
my
well,
issue right
yeah,
there.
well.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you propose in front of a bunch of people?
No, I didn't. But
course.
if it was up to guys, we'd be having a beer going, want to get married? All right, fine. That's the way it would be. You want to get married? I mean, it would be that simple.
Well, I contend that when you propose at a hockey game, you really haven't taken that romantic idea far enough. You've taken it into your idea of romantic, but I don't think there are a lot of women who think that that's their idea of romantic.
Well, you seem to be pretty exclusive that only men like hockey games, that women don't enjoy going to a hockey game.
I just know in my case it would not be my idea of a romantic proposal.
Oh, we all know
any way,
that
shape, or form.
We all know that we don't know you. There's no
I'm
question there.
contending it's pretty easy to figure me out.
No.
Pretty easy.
The only
nice
way to
romantic dinner.
The only way to
not an
propose
issue.
to you is bury it in a tempura mushroom or something on the grill. I don't know. I have no idea. No clue.
It'd be so much easier if your butt got big and red and swelled up when you were in estrus. Like those balloons. It's like, all right.
Well, the best you're going to get is bitchy for a week, and I think you all know when that happens.
That's romance there, Boyer.
A week?
You
Okay.
sweet talker, you.
Dennis, what do you say, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
Talk to me.
I got a crazy story happened to me back when I was in the military years ago. A friend of mine mustered up the courage to do the dinner, the ring. He didn't have a lot of money, but he bought a ring. And he asked this girl after the dinner, and by the way, she had some news for him about, if he could marry her. Well, she denied him, and then turned around, told him that after they got to arguing about it, he's bawling his eyes out in the middle of the restaurant.
No. Not good.
She's been seeing somebody else, and come to find out it's one of his friends. This guy, I was a supervisor in the military. The guy I had to cry it on my shoulder, and I had to watch him for about a week, babysit him.
Yeah.
And
She
this poor
sounds like a
guy, I had
peach.
to keep him away from sharp objects.
Oh.
This guy was a nutcase.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Here's Kat next on the KGB. How are you, Kat?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Talk to me.
Well, I would first like to say I am a big-ass Rangers fan. Thank you. There are chicks out there.
No such thing as a girl who wants to be at a hockey game.
I didn't
There
say
is too.
want to be at a hockey game. Do you want to be proposed to at a hockey game?
It wouldn't be my first choice. Okay.
Okay.
I had a boyfriend who proposed to me in front of all of his friends. I didn't want to make him look like a jackass, so I said yes, and then had to shut him down later. But
Right.
I had to wonder what the hell he was thinking.
That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
You spare his feelings. You say yes. You pretend like it's a big deal. And then in privacy, Kat, you say, listen, I have news for you here.
Might not have been the best idea you ever had, my friend.
Right, exactly. That's what you do.
Unless it's a Bromowitz.
And you and I know that, Kat, but...
Then again, maybe that's me. I'm a different breed of cat.
Well, actually, when you shut him down in front of all his friends, when he has made the leap of thinking, oh, this will be a good idea, what you do is actually a favor to him. You let all his friends hate you, and he can hate you, because they've seen, okay, well, she's just a bitch.
No, you're so
That's very true.
You know?
So ice
and then
cold.
that
You
way
could- you
he
could-
doesn't have to go back and
You
say
could
to
be
all
on
his
Batman.
friends.
You could be a theme arch enemy. You know, you
Catwoman,
could be
fine.
Ice Woman.
Fine.
Mm.
When you tell him...
He had to go around to all his friends and go, well, she actually said no.
Exactly.
Which made me feel like a jerk. But
No, you don't have to do that. You know, the guy can say, it didn't work out. Something like that. There's ways around this to protect people's feelings. God, I
Well,
feel so sensitive
I
this
don't think he
morning.
thought about Kat's feelings when he asked in front of all his friends.
Not so much. I mean, he had a real big heart-on to get married anyway. I don't know. His mom was on him or something.
Damn it.
I don't know. It just wasn't the right thing.
Right.
But I didn't want to make him look like a twit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Thank you, Kat.
Yeah, see you later.
See you later.
So maybe like a professional wrestler, you say, yes, I'll do it. And then you go for the hug, and then you whisper in his ear, not a chance, you pathetic rotten bastard. I hated you ever since I first hated you. I'm just doing this to save your ugly ass.
Jim, what do you say, buddy?
Hey, Dave, what's up?
No, Shell, you've missed the point. You have so missed the point here. You're at the hockey game. You're in front of 5,000 people. You don't want any part of this, but you put on a brave face. You take the ring. You say yes. Mm-hmm. You get home that night. You say, I had no intention of marrying you.
Right.
You put me on the spot. I
Right.
saved your ass. I'm keeping this ring.
Ooh, nice
Why
spin.
keep the ring?
I will accept this ring as payment for saving your sorry ass. in front of 5,000 people. I can't believe Shelley the gold digger didn't figure that one out.
That's just proof I'm not a gold digger.
Wake up, girl! Come on. Jim, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, Dave, the guy's a genius. The reason he's a genius is you propose in front of all these people, and she says yes. You're fine. Everything's good to go. She says no. Can you imagine how many chicks you're leaving with that night?
It's advertising. I'm available, and I do these great things.
You have got women falling all over you because of the sympathy.
It's the Bromwich syndrome. You're right.
Ooh,
it is great.
The Bromo effect.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is.
All right, Dave.
Thanks,
I
man.
got to go before I hit somebody.
All right, see you later. I see a Brom was doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, sitting in a barrel down in the middle of the driving range crying and proposing to somebody.
Yeah.
And then she says, no.
See, but he's used to the public humiliation, unlike the rest of us.
By the way, I've been seeing your dad.
Your underwear looks so much better on him.
I wonder if that's ever happened. Someone's been told we can't go out anymore because I'm seeing your dad. Knowing that you've been where your dad is.
Yeah.
Not just the underwear.
That's not what I'm talking about. Has that ever happened? You ever heard about that?
Oh, it had to have
It
happened.
must have.
I'm sure it's happened in the history of the world, but maybe like 3 times.
I've
And
heard
two of them were like in caveman days because that's just unspeakable.
Just have
Guys
that
with
aside.
mother-daughters, that's, you know.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner invented that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's awesome.
As old as the ages, baby.
Little thing called Alan Shannon.
No, don't bring up that ugly monster.
Bastard.
Huh? What's the problem with you?
It's SOP.
Who am I working with?
SOP.
So two-faced, double standard.
That's right.
Talking homoerotica.
Yeah, and now I'm going to swear.
Give it to him, Ruthie. Give it to him with both barrels. Come on. Say the F word. Come on.
I'm going to say the F word.
Give him the C word. Come on.
You should have blamed it on your Tourette syndrome.
Shove it up your ass.
Sorry, Ruth has Tourette syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, you okay? I'm sorry. I have Tourette's syndrome, and it causes me to have these uncontrollable outbursts.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you get used to it. Ball sweat! Anus liquor! No, there are some places I can't go. Nipple biter!
The best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw on 115 KGB.
With a 7-pound Cocker Spaniel? Or do I tag it something like, the man who looked around and took personal inventory of his own life and found the warehouse had been raided by his family? I don't know. Listen and find out for yourself. You make the call. This is Jim's Emasculation on the 101.5 KGB-FM Best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw Show.
Well, I got some emails here, folks. First one, Dave, I awoke this morning to my 7-pound cockapoo, Skippy, yapping at the front of my bed.
Yeah.
There was a half-read copy of Snow Falling on Cedars on my nightstand.
Oh, God.
Next to my partially consumed glass of Pinot Grigio from the night before. I was surrounded by a mocha-colored damask duvet cover.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's nice.
And I was frightened.
Oh, he's hitting on all the cylinders.
Should have been.
Dave, I like to think that I fit squarely into your male demographic. Like all manly men, I enjoy explosions, beer, and my car, though not necessarily in that order, or simultaneously for that matter. I'm seasonally consumed by the intricacies of the double steel and the safety blitz. In manly tradition, my couch is my pal, and this friendship is heightened by the fact that compared to my loud Irish wife, my even louder 7-year-old daughter, and the aforementioned yappy bitch, the cockapoo, the couch has remained quiet and obedient during our relationship. And finally, with all due respect to my lovely wife, who is a KGB listener and therefore the best thing that ever happened to me, I'm a big fan of all women, particularly their soft parts. All of these things lead me to believe in my heart of hearts that I'm a good old-fashioned guy's guy, and my use of slangy abbreviations confirms this. So how did I end up in this state of emasculation? Well, I have a theory, Dave. Being male has its disadvantages, and one is being really, really stupid. Mind you, I don't think we start out that way. Women, through an insidious and secret formula handed down through generations of mothers, are gradually able to soften men's minds to the point of gender-specific idiocy. A head shake here, a dismissive remark there, and a few weeks later, voila, you're a house pet with a tool belt. My wife, who I love, by the way, has broken me down with surgical efficiency. To her immense satisfaction, she no longer needs to take the time to remind me of my incompetence. She can now merely pause at the end of her remarks and allow me to complete the thought for her. When she says, I don't think you're supposed to water the lawn before you mow it, ... I can mentally complete her thought with, you idiot. I've come to believe it, Dave. My resulting simple-mindedness has apparently numbed my ability to effectively recognize subtle changes in my life. The evidence is both obvious and overwhelming. I only recently noticed, to my horror, that Fox programming has become socially acceptable. And now this, I finally opened my eyes this morning after 15 blissful years of marriage and realized that A, I have a chick dog, B, I'm reading chick novels over glasses of white wine, C, I can distinguish mocha from brown, D, I know what the hell a duvet is.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
As you might expect, my dejection is utter and complete. And although I'm too far gone, I encourage you to remember my sad fate with kindness when you raise a glass at some smoky 19th hole. As for me, I've been told to get the leash. We're all going rollerblading down by the bay.
Wow.
Disconsolately yours, Jim Schneiders.
Wow,
Jimmy.
Good boy.
Last-ditch effort to escape from the Stalag. That's what that email is.
Jimmy. I spent the weekend smoking a cigar, drinking martinis, and reading Bob Green's book about Paul Tibbets.
Woohoo!
Dropping the big one.
Awesome.
On Hiroshima. Have you read that book?
The Enola Gay?
Yes.
I have not read that book.
Good book. Easy read. And last night I picked up the one that you gave me.
Band of Brothers by Stephen Ambrose.
Got about 3 chapters in.
So far?
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, training camp still?
Real story. I finished training camp. They're on their way.
Oh, man. It's the real-life story of the 101st Airborne Division landing and proceeding through Germany and France, actually, all the way to Hitler's lair.
Yeah, which they captured.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so blown away by what these guys went through just in training.
Yeah.
Let alone war, and I have no idea because I haven't read that part of the book yet, but just in training, just getting ready. It was understood from the beginning that these guys were going to be the elite, and therefore they were going to have to be trained much harder than everyone else. And Shell, in this story, they talk about how they're at this training camp. Where was the training camp again?
Alabama, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They're at this training camp, and they're just beating these guys to death.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is to whittle them down to the 15 to 20% that can take it.
Right.
And these guys are out there, and they're looking around, and at one point, they're like about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of their way through the day of training. They're being beaten so just endlessly. And one of them looks over and sees a mountain and says, I'll bet we have to run up that thing by the end of the day. And sure enough, within minutes, they're ordered to pack on full field gear,
packs and everything,
and make the 1,000-foot ascent on this mountain. And that became a regular habit. They'd have to go up and down the mountain, up and down the mountain, up and down the mountain.
Jeez.
And one day, they were getting ready for training, and they said, we're not going to do any running or hiking today.
Mm-hmm.
And the announcement was made, and they said, and guess what? We got a big spaghetti lunch for everybody. So they all sat down, and they're going to town on the spaghetti. They're eating and eating and eating and eating. And the sergeant comes in and says, guess what? We're going up the mountain. And it was Honk City. All the way up and all the way down the mountain.
And still, that was nothing compared to the hardships they would face in real-life war.
And then at the end of the training, there were these 3. I don't understand the military, how they break everything down into compartments and companies and all this other stuff, but there were these 3 companies.
Mm-hmm.
And they were graduating, and they were moving on to their next camp, which I guess was 118 miles. I believe it was in a different state, but it was 118 miles away.
Yeah.
And these 3 companies had just graduated, and someone came up and said, hey, the Japanese just set the new world record for marching. for fast time in marching.
Oh, no.
So the first company got on the bus and moved on to their next camp, and the second company got on the bus and moved on to the next camp, and the third company's chief had a hard-on for this, and so he double-time marched his men to the next camp. In 75 hours, they covered 118 miles through the winter snow. And they hadn't even left the United States yet.
Still nothing compared. Well, compared, but nothing compared to the life and death hardships that they would face.
Yeah.
It's a great, great story. Band of Brothers by Stephen Ambrose.
What a jerk trick with the spaghetti, I thought, you know?
They didn't like that guy.
Coble was his name or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at one point, this was their sergeant, their leader guy. Mm-hmm. That's military talk for you.
Leader guy.
Leader guy.
Yes, sir, leader guy, sir.
Well, you weren't at Iwo Jima like I am, so I speak to you in layman's terms.
Fighting the Koreans during
that's right.
the Civil War.
Right,
in the 70s.
Exactly.
They do these war games, and some guys are required to pretend to be injured soldiers.
Right.
And that's all part of the war games. And this guy, the leader guy, who they were all like taking straws to see who could shoot the minute they got into real combat, and I literally mean shoot.
Right.
He, this leader guy, had pretended to be one of the injured.
Right.
And so the medics grabbed him and actually knocked him out with knockout gas, and then performed a fake appendectomy with a real incision and everything.
Oh!
Just to jerk around with him. Wow! He woke up with a giant scar.
Oh!
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds like something Hawkeye and BJ did on MASH when the guy wanted to go back to the front lines, but he was incompetent, and so they made up a problem that he had, and Hawkeye said, I took out the appendix, it was pink and bouncy and healthy, and I threw it away.
Yeah.
Well, this guy wound up in a bathtub in a bucket of ice with a kidney missing.
I've heard about
in Vegas.
That. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a true story. Yeah.
Wow. What a good book.
No Pinot Grigio, no Mocha Duvet. And my dog weighs about 80 pounds. Jim. But I feel your pain because I've suffered emasculation many times over in different ways, my friend.
Yeah, just because you're smoking your cigars and drinking your whiskey out in the garage.
Not bothering anybody. Just minding my own damn business.
Right.
The best of Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw on 115 KGB.
This concludes tape 1 of the best of Dave